video, I'm just gonna try this anti-leak. Like I said, it has been a while, and the truth is that there isn't much new in the Division 2 game. When I was expecting or hoping that there was, I think last month, there was an announcement. Ubisoft was talking about their plan for Division 2. So there's no surprise, and there's still no news about Division. And they're adding a few more stories, and the manhunt is not that bad. But the same usual thing keeps going on, like the leak and whatnot. So this is the last leak of that manhunt, which I'm going to show you right here. So the manhunt is this one. So I have finished everything. The last one, there's an anti-leak, which is what I'm going to do in this video. So I'm going to quickly to show you what this anti-leak is about. This is again the time trial, but I would say this is actually by far, I would see it as the easiest time trial leak I've ever seen. So first of all of these missions are in the DC area, and they are actually pretty easy mission, I would say, and you will see how it goes. So we are at Jefferson Plaza right now. Let me just go back, and I'm going to use my usual DPS build. So before I go, I'll just quickly show you how it is. It's just the AR, the Baker's dozen, and then the DPS build with a lot to mental backpack, and that's basically it. That's the only defense that I kind of have. Anyway, so let's start with the Jefferson Plaza, and let's see how quickly I can finish all 4 today. Here we go. Oh, actually, I think I think I should start the time trial. In fact, so let's come back to here and trigger this one. So I'm gonna trigger the time trial, and let's do this.
We need to prevent True Sons from using the metro to transport chemical weapons. So start by disabling any operational trains you find.
So the first thing we do is we excuse me, go down here, and what I normally do is I throw a stinger hive over here, and then just start tearing. I'm gonna do this. And I like about this build because you see I'm relying on both my weapon obviously, but also my technology or gear. And the weapon that I have, this one, is called Test Subject. It's a named weapon that allows me to have perfect in sync. What it does is it amplifies the damage done by my weapon and also my tech stuff. So I think in a way it helps a lot with the style that I build, that I like. So right here you're gonna. So there will be enemies spawning from around this area. So what I normally do is I just throw this here, and then start going. Be very careful with what I was just going to say. Careful with the explosive, and here we go. And there's this guy over here. Up. And then there will be more enemies coming from this end. And then next we're gonna set up the. Oops. We're gonna set the explosive on the train. I remember the first time I played this mission, I was very confused about like what am I supposed to be doing. And then it turns out that I just need to shoot this pile here, and then we are good. It turns out that there's no enemies here. I think what happened is that I'm playing the hard mode, and there's just one less spawning point over here. You know, it doesn't really matter. Let's keep going. I'm doing the time trial. Usually I will finish on time, and before we go, I always turn right to grab these explosive rounds. It will be useful later on. I'm just gonna keep it with my rifle. Then I'm gonna run up the stairs, and then go up more stairs. When it is on a harder difficulty, there will be enemies coming up right now, but since it's just a hard mode, so we don't have anything. So there's 2 guys on top. This is the first guy, there's the second guy, and then that's all we have over here. Let's keep going. By this time, the drone is basically done, so I'm gonna remove that. And I'm gonna keep going up. Turn left, and then go up over here. Right. At this point, I'm gonna run towards here. Usually, I'm gonna throw a stinger hive here. The problem is that the top enemies are the hardest to reach because I don't really climb in this game that high. Anyway, so I'm relying on the stinger hive to finish those enemies. And then next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus on those on the ground. So I'm gonna do some over here, which is this. And then there will be some spawning from that door, as you see over here. Do this, and then I'm gonna finish this guy. One more guy over there. Turns out that my stinger hive is not really helping, so which is bad. So instead, usually I'll just like do a little thing to draw the enemies out. You see that? Like that's the problem. Like the enemy is not moving, and then when they hide behind the barrier, it's just like I cannot reach them. Another way to do that is I can use a turret. And it will also help us out. Alright, next thing we go here, open the door. I'm gonna start tearing. Now there is enemies coming from that door, as you see, and there is another round of that afterwards. So what I normally do is I put the stinger hive over here, and then I go up. As I go up, I'm gonna finish everyone. I'm gonna go open that.
Wilson is still by the entrance.
Press the button to call for the elevators. Then there will be people coming from that door down here. There will also be enemies coming from this end. But let's focus on this guys first. Alright, so my stinger hive is gonna work with the rest. Hopefully it will finish them, and then I'm gonna focus on the rest over here. Now once they're done, I'm pretty much good to go. So I'm gonna leave my stinger hive behind. I'm gonna open the door, and now the elevator is not working, so I'm gonna just, sorry about that, should be go down, let's go this way.
Entering contaminated area. TC62 toxin detected. Contamination level lethal.
So that's this guy. I'm gonna start try to shoot the
Make sure you put it out of operation.
explosive to have a little bit more damage, so that I move a little bit faster. Alright, so there we go. Keep going. Right, then we're gonna first focus on this side. Actually, I missed that. There was an enemy coming out from that end. That's alright. So essentially in this area you're gonna shoot or destroy three things. There's a chunga here, you can shoot his weakness, which is his little backpack at the behind, the lower back. Then we're good. Good. And there's also this, and then we can move on. Left or right doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna move on. Let's pick the right this time. This is where you emerge from this area. So we go over here. There will be some enemies from the top right, sorry, top left. And you need to trigger the explosion. There will be someone coming out from here. Go. And then there will also be enemies coming out from this door and also the other door. Go. And then I'm gonna pick this guy up. Alright. There's one more guy. And we are going to get to the last region or area of this mission. Go up. Here, turn right. then go back to the outside. Usually I go over here. One here. This one there. Yeah. Be careful for someone coming in, because what happens is that they will have the mortar aiming you. You see that guy on top? So if you don't finish him earlier on, then you will he will shoot some mortar towards. So next, so enemies coming on from this side. Also the door is blocked with my stinger hive, which is good. Shoot some explosive. Alright. Then there will be the boss. And then I'm gonna switch over to my, remember I pick up some special ammo. So this is the time that I use it. There we go. And then just finish up the rest. One guy, and there's one behind the pillar. Just like lure him up. And then we're good.
No more contacts. Great work. Wilson's unit is out of action.
Destroy this guy. I don't really need them.
Chemical warfare
I
efforts.
could keep this one, but that's okay.
Kelso just reported in to confirm the survivors from the castle settlement have safely reached the rooftop settlement. There's no one doing what happened to them, but at least you've made sure it won't happen to anyone else.
So we finished the first time trial. It took us, let's see what the time is. While we're doing this, let me just open up a cache over here. And we're gonna destroy that. It's only a hard mode, so we don't really get some good stuff anyway. So we got 10 out of 10, which is expected. So we have finished our first time trial at Jefferson Center.
Leaving contaminated area.
Now the next thing we want to go is, let's take a look at where we are at. The next thing we'll go is, oops, that's not this. We are looking at the Auntie leak. So Jefferson Plaza done. Let's go to DCD quarters. So let's go back to the map. DCD headquarters, which is over here. So we can fast travel here. Again, DCD headquarters is one of the earlier missions that we get from the Division 2. So, in some way, it is simpler because we are playing a time trial on a hard, difficult level of difficulty. It's actually even easier. I remember that the first time I try or attempt the heroic is actually on this mission because it's relatively simple. So we are doing the time trial over here with the heart on DCD.
Looks like they're coming from the DCD complex. Whatever's happening over there, we need to shut it down.
I'm gonna shoot this guy. There's a few over there. There's there will be one more coming up over here. I'm gonna find this. Normally, it's easier that that enemy will just emerge. For some reason, it doesn't. They don't. I'm just gonna catch up with them. Then there will be a few coming out from that end. Normally they will also bring out a little thing, that little remote car, I would say, not the explosive kind,
Active terminal detected.
but the one that is going to cut your legs in a way. We go up. There are 3 enemies on this side. So this is the first guy, this is the second guy, and there's a third guy over here hiding behind a wall. Here. Alright, and we're gonna activate this or begin download.
Connection established.
We can come back from where we come in or up, but we can also use this. And what this allow us is there's a little box here, but because of time we're not going to open it. We just go over here, and then on the right there are 2 guys. We're gonna let them explode, and then we're gonna go to the door.
The best way to take the lab offline is
we actually will come back to here later on, but for the meantime, we're just gonna
Isaac's not
over
detecting
here.
the gas needed for the decom process. They must have disabled the line.
Hit the main fuel line in the basement. That should get it flowing again.
I'm gonna come over here.
Open the fuel line. That
So
should
the
give
first thing I
decom
usually do
protocol
is
enough
I
gas
throw a
to
stinger
run.
hive as far as I can over here, and then I'm gonna finish the enemies over here. And then I'm gonna jump down. There will be a few more enemies coming in from the far end. You see that from that entrance. So we will deal with that a little bit later on. But in the meantime, finish everyone over here. It's good if we can go up, because what happens is that you're going to turn a little switch at this area. Right, stun. That's done. There's one more guy. Windows. Alright. And then there will be more here. There's this little hazard thing that you can use to inflict some damage. Alright. This guy is still alive. Finish this guy over here. And this is right
decontamination protocol can be initiated from a panel in the lab above you.
Alright.
Stay put once you pull the trigger and you should be safe. Top floor. You can't miss it.
Go to the top
Right
floor.
in the middle of the lab.
Alright, should be turned right. Okay, so let's go over here, and then there will be a few enemies two ways. Let's do a little of explosive. Alright, this guy, first guy, there will be another wave coming in. Can't really see what's happening. Cool. So the next thing is we go through this door. There's no need to go over there unless you want to get the stuff. And the next is to go through this door and continue our journey. Stairs, over here, here, another wave of enemies. So there should be only one wave.
You'll be able to access the morgue at the far end of the West Wing construction site. If they haven't been disposing of the corpses properly, we could have another outbreak on our hands.
Alright, the next part is kind of like a... We go outside, and then we're gonna climb up. So I'm gonna show you. So we go here, and we climb up. Now the reason we want to climb up is there are two levels. At the end we're gonna go to the lower level, but right now what we want to do is to throw this thing hive over here, let it do its job. And we're gonna focus on top. There will be a sniper usually coming out from this door. And then there will be a few enemies down. We can go over here. There's one more. Thing hive does its thing.
An asymptomatic carrier. Someone who's infected but doesn't show symptoms.
And then we're gonna wait for this guy to
poison and turning it loose on the city.
just destroy this.
Destroy anything that might be contaminated.
Press the button, let the elevator come up and back down. Right, and we're gonna rappel down. And then go left. So the next area is another confined area, which is on our left. There's this one dude, but we'll worry about him later on. So let's destroy the tanks. The main thing. There are 3 enemies coming here. So this is the big guy. So this big guy first. There's another one on our left. And there's another guy on our right. And there is another tanky thing that we can finish, which is our
Evelyn's the head of the outcasts. If she's an asymptomatic carrier, they've got an endless supply of the virus to play with.
Agent, your route out is going to take you into the DCD research library.
Hey, while you're in there, do me a favor. Recover
DCD
everything you
research
can on
library.
broad-spectrum antivirals.
This is the area that you have. You need a kind of like a ranged weapon to shorten the time a little bit, and I'll show you in just a minute, or a few seconds, in fact. So over here, normally what I do is I have a ranged weapon. I have like a normal weapon. I'm gonna throw my stinger hive as far as I can. I'm gonna shoot that thing. The stinger hive doesn't actually reach. And there's another wave of enemies coming out from the door, like here. another guy from this end too. And then the next is then there will be enemies coming from the very far end. So I can choose to use you know, a weapon like this or a more stable one like my rifle, which is a little bit more stable and having a higher damage. And then I'm gonna come back over here and finish a few more enemies. There's one guy here, there's another guy over here.
Data analysis lab is just ahead. See what data you can grab for Kelso.
I'm gonna run here and do a little computer thing. This is a mandatory wait time. So no matter how quick I do, I just have to wait for it to finish. In the meantime, I'm just gonna defend my positions with like enemies coming from this front. So there's one end, there's also on our left. So if I have the Stinger Hive, I usually just throw it here, let it do its job. And at the same time, I'm gonna make sure that no one comes close to my head. You see that there's a countdown on the top left telling us that there's another 40 seconds, so we're gonna wait for it to finish the countdown. If you want to do things, you can also shoot this little guy, and there is a little thing you can get in. So while we are waiting, anyways, I'm gonna go one of these guys. Alright, cool. We're almost there. Just wait at this little door, and until we see the prompt. Alright, so prompt is there.
Transfer completed.
That brings us to the last
Clear to get out
area
there.
of this mission.
The lab and samples destroyed. I don't think the outcasts are going to be able to do much else from the air.
Thanks for getting.
Here they come. Be careful.
So we'll run. There are two enemies over here. Stinger Hive. Sorry, my little drone. Get them. Oops,
Immediate medical
that
assistance.
was close. There's one guy trying to climb up the truck. Right, and then there will be more enemies coming out from there. See? So what I do is I'm just Stinger Hive. Boss. Then that's not the only enemy that you have. So there's enemies coming from that door. There's enemy coming from that truck. I don't know actually, are they hiding in that truck for the longest time? I don't know. But that's where they come from. And this probably is the last guy, and there we go. So we finish another mission. Let's pick this up. What do we have here? We don't really need this. You know what? I'll just keep this for now. It's kind of like named gear, so I might keep it as well. Can I destroy this? Get something. Let's see what we have. So there's a lot of things that we can pick up over here, right? There's actually another thing, but I'm gonna special ammo, but I'm gonna skip it for now. So we have done DCD headquarters, which is great. So we are halfway there. The next thing we wanna try out. Oops. Let's take a look. The next area or mission we want to try out is the Grand Washington Hotel. So let's go back to our map. And Grand Washington Hotel, I think, is up here. So let's fast travel to Grand Washington Hotel. In this week, it used to be a invaded mission. So you can actually change the mission type when you are at the area. So I already have changed that. So I set it up so that I can skip that fighting of the Black Tusk.
Hostile control point detected.
So right now, I'm just make sure that I am at the correct mission type. So you can see if you press the triangle, you can toggle mission mode. So right now, I'm trying the time trial, so I can actually use that to skip the invasion mode. Anyway, so let's try the Grand Washington Hotel.
You're right
Another
next
time
to the
trial.
Grand Washington Hotel.
It's still
Okay,
the
here
hard
we
mode.
go.
It's not that hard.
Exit the service entrance back to the building.
Once
you're
we're
inside,
finished, we
find a
go
way to
into
the
this
trailer.
door, through this door. So as you can see, it actually has a tighter time frame, 12 minutes, instead of like 14 or 16 earlier. So over here, there's a bunch of enemies. So I'm gonna do this. If you keep shooting around, you will start confusing them because you shoot those like I don't know, coloring or chemicals or whatnot. So just don't stay too close because you will be confused as well. So once we have that, we're almost there. Let's try to see if I can pick up my Stovepipe, which will be useful later.
Everybody, get to the atrium.
Saint's here.
The who now?
Hyena big shot. Real unpleasant. We need to kill this asshole.
Nobody gets through. Nobody.
So once I hear, usually what I do is that I throw a stinger hive here, and then I do a little grenade over here, and then start shooting. Or the other way around, so it doesn't really matter. And I'm just gonna go to. Then be careful with the. There's a turret on top. Now that's where another spawn point is, and then we'll finish up.
You went all the way to the top floor. Take the stairs to the right of the elevators and work your way up.
Let's pick our stinger hive back. Usually I will pick up stinger hive and it has some left. Over half left because it takes time to reload, and then if you have some of the stingers left intact, then you can just quickly build it back up to whatever maximum level you have. Next thing is going through here. There will be enemies coming up. These guys. Now we go up the stairs. Through this, and then I usually quickly run to the stairs on the stage, and then we're gonna throw a stinger hive over here to help me up. There's the first enemy, and the second enemy. I'm gonna get some cover. This guy. One over here, or actually two. Another one over here. I think that's another way. Right, once we're done, pick up what we have, and then continue with the rest. Okay.
I just found an ammo stockpile. I'm gonna detonate it.
So here you are basically stuck at this area, and then you're shooting enemies from the other end. So if you can choose something that has a range, but if you don't, you usually can use the environment like this.
That's what you get, dumb sons of bitches.
Well, help you finish the enemies a little
As long
bit.
as I'm not breathing asbestos.
Alright. So once
That
you
blasted
finish
a
all
lot
of
of
them,
damage.
you're gonna take the elevator. Again, broken in some point. You can't take your you cannot take your drone with you. So usually what I do is destroy it so that I can load it a little bit faster. And at some point this elevator is going to break, and we're going to force the door open. One thing I noticed that for time trial, you see the loading symbol or logo. It actually counts the time in real time. So what it means is that if you have a normal hard drive, then actually it adds more time to it, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm gonna this way, go this way. Okay, is this one done? Let's take up a little bit and call our little drone to help out. Alright, so once you go past it, there's a few enemies coming out from this area. So make sure that they are being handled. Alright. So I think it's a little bit too far to pick up our Stinger Hive, so I'm gonna destroy it and let it load. Yes, we still have our drone with us, so it's not too bad.
I'm on the roof, holding for backup.
I have eyes on you, Kelso.
You see Saint?
I don't know what he looks like, but there are plenty of hostiles up there.
Not for long.
Right. I'm not quite sure if our drone actually follows, so it's alright. We're just gonna do it solo for a while. And we're going to the roof to join Kelso. Up here. Take the stairs. Now, if you want to get catches, there's a little catch over here with the hyena's key. So we don't really need that right now. So let's just go past it. And then this is Kelso. What I normally do is I go on the right. Run all the way straight to the end. Throw my Stinger Hive somewhere there. Start shooting. And then I have my drone up and running. There will be enemies coming out from that door. See that? Also from the top as well. So right now I'm gonna use that. Use this. Vantage point from here. Alright, this guy. Let me switch to another weapon. So let's finish Sane first. Alright, done. And then we're gonna finish up the rest. My this guy here. Finish the work. And then we still need to go here to trigger the event. So go here, let Kelso come and do this. We don't actually need to go through the door. We just need to trigger the event. Another thing is that if you notice, there's a little explosive ammo here. I usually pick it up just in case I need.
Take care of him. I got Eleanor.
So I'm gonna go here back. Might as well pick up some ammo on my way. Right, so I'm gonna take the elevator over here again. This time it's not broken. Let's go in, but still I cannot bring my drone with me. So I'm just gonna wait. And we are going to go back to the lobby area, where we pass through. One thing I do is I quickly go over here and then drop a Stinger Hive around this area. There will be enemies coming out from this end. There will also be two enemies on our left. So we're gonna do this. This guy. There's a sniper over here. Now, if you are using the specialization like I have, usually what I do is I empty out my weapon a few times until the door is open. And then I switch over to this guy. Does it? Of course, you can always use any other weapon that you like. Essentially, what you want to do is to finish this 3-person as quickly as possible, and that will be the end of it. Alright. So now we have finished 3 missions already, and if we look back at our Auntie leak. we can see that we are down to the last one, which is Space Administration HQ. This is actually a longer mission, a little bit tricky. So let's see if we can finish it in one go. I mean, within the time frame. So this is the Space Admin. So let's quick travel or fast travel to it. And there are multiple areas that we need to go through, and there are some areas that you just have to wait for the satellite to move around. So that's the part that you can't really
Target the
change that
site and
much.
see what you can find.
Right. So let's make sure that we are at the right time trial, which is challenging for this one. And let's do this. This is the last mission we need to finish for the anti-leak. So over here we have a bunch of enemies at the front.
Across the country.
Again, I'll start with this.
The local system to the satellite network. Should be able to do that at the NOAA headquarters building.
Get to the control
Then
room.
I will
can
take
walk you
my
through the process from there.
drone with me. Alright, moving on. Let's finish this. And then we'll move on.
The control room is at the top of the atrium.
Pick something up on our way. This is titanium usually. And then we'll have another round of enemies. It's gonna sting a hive
Hostile
here.
radio intercepted.
It's the division! Sound the alarm!
This guy from the top. Alright, so more. It's a little far, but I'm gonna pick up my blue drone. Sorry, my stinger hive, and then go up. There's one more far end. There we go. Finish up. Alright, so moving up, we're gonna take the stairs. I'm gonna turn right a little bit, and there will be a few enemies coming up, so I'm gonna throw my stinger hive around here and then go this way. There's the first person and there's the second guy, and now I'm gonna circle back around.
They're coming right up!
Alright. Next is I'm gonna go here. So there are enemies coming out from this end, like basically from the other side. Alright. This, and there's one more on top. Alright, good. Oh, there's one more over here.
Heads up.
With
I'm
this
seeing
one.
hostile movement on the roof.
Right, so this part is a little bit tricky because there are 3 things we need to do. Let's pick up something over here while we're waiting for our drone to reload. So what we're going to do is we're going to align some satellites. So first you go here and open the gates. And the next you go down here. There are 3 things you need to do. So usually what I do is I throw a single hive over here, trigger some defense, right, and then call my drone because the drone is going to help me to distract the enemies. Right, so what we need to do over here is there, you see the big letter A. So we're going to align the antenna, 3 of them. While aligning them, there will be enemies spawning from different areas.
But this will speed up the process.
The level of difficulties dictates how long this alignment process is going to be. So the more difficult it is, the longer it takes. Right, that makes sense, right? So I'm gonna finish this guy on top. What I normally do is that I'm gonna circle around, go up, because the next thing or antenna is going to be on the top level. So that's where I go. So this is the second one. So this enemy comes up. Just make sure that he doesn't cause any problem. I'm gonna continue. So one thing that's good is that it actually keeps your progress. So if you need to handle the enemies, you release it, it will at least keep where you were, which is kind of nice. Otherwise, if you keep restarting, then it's going to take forever. Alright, so one thing I like about the drone is that it does distract your enemies, so which is very helpful. The next one is your the C antenna. So we're going there. Okay, trying to align it while our drone is helping us to do something, hopefully. If it's not, then we're gonna take it into our own hands. Again, you see that it is remembering our progress, which is great, while our drone is taking the attention away, which is also nice. We did our part. Now all we need to do is to finish the enemies, or clear the area, essentially. Right, that's one. That field on the far end. It's done. Then we come here. Then we one more. It's a little bit far, so let's see if we can reach it. And probably not. Okay, so let's and our drone is done. So let's just finish him. And then while we're here, we might as well pick up the Stinger Hive. So the entrance is going to be at this far end near the antenna C. So that's usually why I do antenna C. I don't think the order of the antenna actually changes anything or affect anything. So whichever works for you, that's great. So I'm gonna open another broken door for elevator. It's gonna rappel down. Then we're gonna go through here. So let's pick up some restock. So if you want, there's also something that you can open up over here, but I mean, for the time consideration, we won't. Anyway, so this is not the end of the area yet. So we're gonna just go through that. So this is the one part that you really have to wait. So that's not an enemy. I think the person is actually down. Alright, there's one more over there. Okay, so what I normally do is that before I move over there, I'll just throw a Stinger Hive here, and you will see why later on. So, but you can wait, but you'll see what happens. So, you reach here, this will only be available or interactable when you finish that wave of enemy.
We should be able to extract the radio once it's docked.
So what happens is that there will be enemies coming out from that door while you're waiting for this thing to move, the module to move. There are also people coming out from this end. Make sure that we don't get them. Okay, so while we are doing this, we need to take care of the time. So we want to come over here, all the way up, and wait for the module to reach this area. So once it reaches this area, this will become interactable, and we are going to operate it. Now this is mandatory again, so we can't really do anything for the time being. We just have to wait. Now you see it stops, then it's going to allow you to let you do things. Now it's going to continue to move. There will be another wave of enemies coming up, so we're gonna quickly go over there if we can make it in time. Then we're gonna put another thing hide over here. Guy over here. Finish him. Now, if you want some special ammo, there's actually one special ammo in front of us. Sometimes I will just shooting around and then I ended up destroying it, which is okay. But while we're still at it, let's do this. Right. So let me see if I can.
Right there.
So this is the ability of the sidearm that I have. When you shoot them, finish them, they head explode. Anyway, so that's fun to do sometimes, but headshot is hard. Anyway, so we're going here, going in, we're going to pull a lever over here, and then we're going to the last area. Now the last area has two phases. So we're going to look at the first phase. So in this area, the thing is that there's an RPG, so you can't just randomly run around and shoot things. Just be careful about with the RPG. There are two RPGers. So we'll finish the first one. Usually what I do is I just go around, climb up if I have to, but I just circle around. I'm gonna call the drone to help me out a little bit. So I just circle and run around, and when there are enemies, I'm just gonna... Ooh. See, that's another RPGer. Alright, so finish this guy. Down. Alright, so then we don't get trapped. Alright. Gonna use another RPG. Alright, so I think we're almost there with the enemies. So there's one person here, use them up. There's other one over there hiding behind the thing. And then that's our phase number 1. Alright, so we're gonna come over here, press a button or something.
Alright. This will extract the transmitter from the module
Right.
and connect it to the rest of the facility.
Next thing we're gonna
And
do
we can link up with
is
the
we're
division
going to...
satellites.
Let's just wait. And then there will be a blackout. I'm gonna throw a stinger hive over here. Maybe over here. Alright, have my rifle ready. Usually it's like the strongest weapon for range. And then our enemy, the boss, is going to come out from that end. See that? So what I normally do is keep shooting. It's done. And then there will be more enemies coming around. So I'm gonna finish them as quickly as possible. Alright, there will be another spawn from the left hand side. I'm just gonna handle that. Alright, so that's that guy. And just a machine gun. Alright, so there's a few more over here. So I think another useful thing about our drone is that when the drone sees a little bit better than in most situations, and the little L1 little thing tells you where the enemies are. So it's a good cue for telling you where to look for. Right, so once you're done, you can press another button that is going to trigger the end of this mission. This is where you get your time, and I'm gonna destroy a few things. Let's take this as well.
Satellite network is back online. I'll send a team to secure the transmitter
our
for
mission
safekeeping.
is complete.
Good work, Agent.
So essentially it's done. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna maybe pick up a few materials and go back outside, and we'll take a look at what we have. Let's quickly run over here, destroy a few things, get some materials, get some content, and wait for this to load. I think we're pretty good. Right. So the exit is over here. I need to press another button to open this door. Go through the contamination area, I suppose, and we're going to run up some stairs. Right, so going back up, this gate is going to open automatically. Help our friendly people to finish up something. Let's try this game. Oh, it's too late. Anyway, so that is it. Let's take a look at our time trial results. So again, I'm just doing this whole thing solo. You can actually do it with your friends as a team, and you can just wait at different strategic point, and that will actually speed up things quite a lot. But you know, I'm playing it solo, so you can see that now. I still managed to finish it within the time. Last week I did it. I managed to do it faster. I don't know why, but still within the time. Still within the time limit, right? So this is basically the time. I think Grand Washington Hotel is actually pretty good. Somehow this one's Spray and Bean is actually better than last time, which is great. Anyway, so that is it. So I think I spent about maybe, let's do a little quick math. So over here we have the so we have what? We have about 10 minutes, and another 10, another 10ish, another 15. So we have 30, 45 minutes. Less than an hour, we finish all of the leagues, get all the trophies you want. This league, just like any other league, spans of 2 weeks. That's more than enough for you to get all the badges you need to go through all of the rewards. So if you take a look at the rewards, basically you go all the way up to 10 tiers, and it's more than enough for you to claim everything you need or you want to get from this league. So I'm gonna just like quickly claim everything, and the last one, the little pendant thingy, a trophy, and that finish or completes all of the anti-leaks missions in just one session, one go. So that's why I said in the beginning, it's kind of easy, relatively speaking, to other leagues, because sometimes you need to jump from one island to the DLC, and some of them are much longer. This is actually quite straightforward. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy watching me playing this game as much as I enjoy playing it. To be honest, I'm at the point that I'm kind of like waiting for a big update instead of like, you know, like, okay, another manhunt and slightly move forward. This manhunt, I think there's a bigger move than previously, but still, it's just a story being pushed around. I really hope that at the very least they open up like 1 or 2 more missions in another area, or fly the agent back to somewhere and older or previous in Division 1, those things that I can just redo it with like the gears that I have, and a little bit unfolding of the story than just like, okay, give us one more enemy, give us 2, 3, 4 enemies, and then you finish them, and then you are still not going anywhere. So we'll see how it goes, and in the meantime, I'm simply just leveling up the gear thing. So those little things that they add previously to let you increase the level of your weapons, your gear. So I'm just doing it from on the side, but I'm just really hoping that there's some sort of like very new content. Anyway, again, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to play more Division 2 with you, given the time, given the content, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, and bye.